Hello students, welcome to our channel. And the last video we have discussed about double displacement reaction, and today's video we are going to discuss about oxidation and reduction. Okay, it is also a type of reaction. So here from the name itself you can say that oxidation and reduction. Okay, if a substance, a chemical substance, if it gets or it gains oxygen, that is called oxidation. Okay, and if a substance loses oxygen, is called reduction. Okay, if a substance gains oxygen is called oxidation. If a substance loses oxygen is called a reduction. Okay, so next, apart from that, the first point for oxidation, gain of oxygen. It's a gain of oxygen, and here reduction is a loss of oxygen. Okay, you have to keep all these points in your mind, then only we can find the oxidation reduction in the equation. Okay, the chemical reaction we have to find. Next, second point, if you see that gain of oxygen, and the next point, the first point is gain of oxygen, and here reduction, it's a loss of oxygen. Next, loss of hydrogen, and here gain of hydrogen. Okay, so look at that. Okay, in oxidation reaction it's a gain of oxygen, reduction it's a loss of oxygen, and loss of hydrogen is oxidation, gain of hydrogen is a reduction. Okay, these are the points you have to keep while writing the equation, you can able to understand. Okay, next, here loss of electrons, and here that is gain of electrons. Here it is gain of electrons. Okay, and the next, here an increase in oxidation number, and here also that is decrease in oxidation number, Okay, these all are the points we have to keep. So what is that oxidation main point? That is gain of oxygen, and here the reduction is the loss of oxygen, and the oxidation can say the loss of hydrogen, and the reduction gain of hydrogen. Okay, so now how are we going to apply this? So in your NCERT book itself they have given the example, and here I have taken copper, Cu plus oxygen. When copper reacts with oxygen on heating, it gives copper oxide. Okay, look at this reaction. How does it take place? Copper, what happened here? Copper is a metal which is getting oxygen, okay, which gains oxygen. So how does it change? It changes as copper oxide. Okay, changes as copper oxide. This is oxidation reaction. Okay, so changes to copper oxide by oxidation reaction. So it uses this criteria, that is gain of oxygen. Okay, next reaction we are going to see the one of reaction, that is copper oxide. When copper oxide reacts with the hydrogen on heating, copper and H2O. Okay, look at this reaction. How does it take place? Copper oxide, how does it change? Copper oxide, it loses oxygen and changes to copper. So copper oxide, loss of oxygen. So what is that loss of oxygen? It's a reduction. Okay, so copper oxide, it is reduced to copper. Okay, so what is that here? It is a reduction. Next, when you see the hydrogen, what happened here? It gains oxygen. So gain of oxygen is known as oxidation. So H2 gains oxygen. So this is known as oxidation reaction. So in the same reaction, in the same chemical reaction, both oxidation and reduction takes place. So this type of reaction is known as redox reaction. Okay, this type of reaction is known as redox reaction. Shall we discuss the one more equation which is given in your NCERT book? If you have the NCERT book, you can refer there. Okay, so the one is ZNO, zinc oxide. Zinc oxide with carbon gives zinc plus carbon monoxide. So you have to recall the points in case if they have given this equation to find which is oxidation and which is reduction in this. So how will you find? So here ZNO, and look at the product side. What happened there in the product side? This oxidation, this oxygen is not there in the product side. So what is the meaning of the loss of oxygen? So if it is a loss of oxygen, what is it? It's a reduction. Okay, so next, carbon, it's the oxygen. Carbon gains the oxygen. This is known as oxidation reaction. So zinc oxide reduced to zinc. This is called reduction. Because here oxygen is there in the reactant side, and when you come to the product side, there is no oxygen. Okay, loss of oxygen takes place, and here a carbon gains oxygen. So gain of oxygen is known as oxidation. So this is oxidation. So this reaction is called the redox reaction. Okay, next one more question from your NCERT only. So this is the question. So try to give me the answer. MnO2, manganese dioxide, reacts with the hydrochloric acid HCl, gives manganese chloride MnCl2 plus H2O plus Cl2. Okay, now here we have to balance this equation. It is not balanced. Okay, even in this equation also Cu plus O2, here CuO. When we balance, what will happen? Here O2 is there, here O1 only. So here I am adding 2 here. So when here 2 Cu and here 2 Cu. Okay, the equation is balanced. And H2O, copper, it's balanced, and here also balanced. And this equation, so here look at the chlorine is 2 and hydrogen is 2. Okay, here hydrogen is 1 and chlorine is 1. So when you add here 4 and here 2. So look at the equation now, whether is it balanced or not. 4 hydrogen and 2 oxygen and 1 manganese, and chlorine is 4, here 4. So equation is balanced. Okay, now we'll come to the point. So now here, how will you find the oxidation and reduction in this equation? So look at that. We know the major point. If loss of oxygen, reduction. Gain of oxygen, oxidation. Here look at the reactant. One of the reactant is manganese dioxide. When we come to the product side, here oxygen is removed. Okay, here this manganese lost the oxygen, loss of oxygen. So if it is a loss of oxygen, what will happen? It's a reduction. Okay, so manganese oxide reduced to manganese chloride. So now MnO2. Okay, oxygen is not there, loss of oxygen here. Okay, so this is called reduction. And look at this HCl. Here removal of hydrogen. So it's a removal of hydrogen. What is it? Removal of hydrogen and becomes Cl2. And moreover, this hydrogen gets oxygen here, water. Okay, so removal of hydrogen. So look at this now. Here there is no hydrogen. Removal of hydrogen or loss of hydrogen is called oxidation. So here this is oxidation. So this reaction is also known as redox reaction. Okay, like this only we have to know whether the reaction oxidation or reduction. Okay, now the first question in the chapter first activity 1.1 we have discussed about magnesium oxide. Okay, so look at that. When magnesium reacts with oxygen, okay, it gives magnesium oxide, MgO. Okay, so we have to balance this equation. Here O2 is there, here O1 is there. When we balance, here 2 MgO and here 2 Mg. Okay, now tell me that which type of reaction, whether it's oxidation or reduction or redox reaction. Here only one product only you are getting. Here magnesium is there. This magnesium is oxidized too. So look at that. Here magnesium is there. When you look at the product side, oxygen, it gains the oxygen. So gain of oxygen is known as oxidation. So this reaction is known as oxidation. Okay, very clear? We can expect based on this question in the board paper. Okay, so we have to practice well. Okay, first we have to practice what are the examples given in our NCERT book. Okay, then we will move to the board paper and previous paper we will check it. Okay, or clear, this is only the oxidation and reduction. In case if they have given the equation and we have to find whether the oxidation or reduction, you have to keep all these points in your mind. If it is oxidation reaction, gain of oxygen, addition of oxygen, okay, and loss of hydrogen. When come to the reduction reaction, loss of oxygen, gain of hydrogen. Okay, very clear? In the next video we will discuss about corrosion and rancidity. Okay, thank you.